Hey, this is Romey-Mak, and you're listening to the Interview with Rome podcast. Yeah, what up? Once again, it's on. This is Romey-Mak, and welcome to another edition of Interview with Rome. Today I have business and career expert Micha Nixon on the show. Looking forward to it. We kind of caught up a little bit before the interview even started. That seems like a very bright individual, and again, we're going to explore her mind and just see where she's coming from and what she does in her day-to-day life, and have some fun with it. So without further ado, let me bring Micha onto the show. Micha, welcome to the show. How you doing?
What's going on?
Not much. So anyway, how's the day going?
The day's been good, very productive. My Mondays, I usually just plan. I don't work Mondays. That's the thing. I feel like it's still the weekend, honestly. I don't care what anybody thinks.
Exactly.
How can I come off of a weekend and just go straight to work? It's very difficult. So I just decided Mondays will be my day of planning how I'm going to execute the week. So that's how I spent today, planning what my action will be for the rest of this week. And it was kind of rainy today, but for the most part, it was a nice day.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because earlier today I went out and got some release therapy by just being out at South Beach, and how can anyone get therapy in such a noisy place? But it was good to just be out there, it was good to just be out there by yourself, be alone in thoughts and just trying to clear your mind from all the, I would say, the hectic stuff that you have going on. But we'll go ahead and open up the the interview with, who is Micha Nixon?
So when I saw that question, I was like, I like questions that make me have to think a little harder than usual.
Yeah.
I think it's very complex. It's a complex question. Who is Micha Nixon? So I would like to go on and say everything that describes me, right?
Okay.
But I think on the grand scheme of things, who is Micha Nixon? Micha Nixon is someone who wants to leave a legacy, someone who wants to not only support any dream that anybody that I know or that is around me, like I want to actually ignite a fire in people to actually do the things that they really want to do, and find the passion however they still find it, So I've always been super compassionate and very caring, very loving, very supportive with all of my friends. Like, brief story. So my best friend got pregnant when I was a junior in college, and I was in Tallahassee. I went to FAMU.
All right.
Shout out to the Rattlers.
Yeah.
And she was in Fort Lauderdale, and so I was like, we're talking on the phone, and she was like, oh, my water broke. I was like, yo, what do you mean? And she was like, yeah, I'm just gonna finish curling my hair though. She was super chill about it. And I was like on 10. I'm like, yo, you need to call your mom. Where's your mom? Blah, blah, blah. You need to hurry up. She was like, okay, girl, let me call you back. She was so calm. I still can't believe that I was more hyped in that moment than she was. So literally jumped in my Honda, and I drove from Tallahassee to Fort Lauderdale in 5 hours and 45 minutes. And I missed my goddaughter's birth by 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Literally, I go in for the people I love. So Micha Nixon is supportive, and she is down for the cause when it comes to my friends and my family. I don't play about those individuals. But yeah, Micha Nixon is, I don't know why I'm speaking in third person, but I feel like who is Micha Nixon? You just kind of got to speak in third person.
Yeah.
But, I am someone who is super determined to figure out and make sure that I'm growing how I'm supposed to be growing, and that I'm challenging myself. I'm surrounding myself with people who challenge me. I'm just not someone who wants to be okay with being comfortable. Like, I want to continue, like we were talking about before, just continue to make myself uncomfortable so that I keep growing.
Exactly.
Like living that way, I think taking more risk, that's kind of what I signed up for, right? I call myself an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs take risks. And yeah, so I would sum that up and say I'm a risk taker, and I am okay with going against the grain and not doing the traditional route of, finding success and achieving success.
So where do you come from? Where did you grow up, rather?
So I was born in Dallas, so shout out to the Cowboys. I live in Miami.
This interview is over. This interview is over. No Cowboy. No, go ahead.
Right. I get it. I totally understand. So yeah, so we moved moved when I was like 2, so I've basically been raised in Fort Lauderdale for my whole life. But I go back to Dallas maybe two to three times a year. Actually, I've been going back way more now that I've become older. It's more things to kind of celebrate. My grandfather and my grandma are getting older. Our family reunions are becoming kind of like abundant. So we keep having these reasons to go back and get together. So yeah, I've been back and forth, but I have been, raised and stationed in Fort Lauderdale. So yeah, I call myself Texas/Floridian in that order.
All right. So you would technically be like Michael Irvin in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
Him being from Fort Lauderdale and him being so invested in that franchise that will go unnamed on this show.
Right.
No, just messing. So let everybody know what it was like growing up in Fort Lauderdale then for you.
Growing up in Fort Lauderdale, I had a great childhood. Honestly, like the neighborhood that I grew up in, like I was a tomboy. I was a girl in the neighborhood that wanted to play football with everybody, wanted to race. Like I was very active. I played with dirt and frogs. Like I wasn't really a girly girl, I guess, but I was super active. Like I was always in something. 8th grade, I played flag football, but I also went to the chiropractor. I was very involved in church growing up. So, I did the whole youth ministry and we went on trips. I did so much community service. So, growing up in Fort Lauderdale, honestly, I've met probably the most genuine people that I know today. Like we're still friends. Like majority of the people that I met, I've been close with since 8th grade. So I've had a beautiful experience growing up here. Honestly, I've grown to love the beach to death. That is my serenity. You went to the beach today. I was very jealous when you told me that. But I just really appreciated the cultural differences that I was able to be exposed to. Because of that, I feel like I am more accepting of people who aren't like, and so it's easy for me to just go out of town and meet somebody new because honestly, it's a crazy melting pot down here. Majority of my friends are not American. They're from different islands. Yeah. And so that in itself, like the food and, oh God, I love food in South Florida.
Definitely food down here, yes, the differences.
Man, food down here, hands down. Oh, love it. So growing up in Fort Lauderdale has been actually really great for me, so yeah.
Okay. Well, let the people know and our listeners know what it is, the business that you do.
Okay. So I call myself the Millennial Business and Success Expert because I don't only focus on entrepreneurs. So I started my journey with my YouTube show called Millennials on the Move. So I interview millennials who have their own businesses. They have their own nonprofit organizations, and I kind of wanted to shed light on the hidden gems that are around us, right? So you want to support the LeBron Jameses who start their school. You want to support the Dwayne Wades who start foundations. You know what I'm saying? All these great things that happen from people that are basically famous, right? And so I wanted to kind of build a platform so that the regular Joes could be like, what, I can start a business. And let me get insight from somebody who's gone through it. You know what I'm saying? It's a Chinese proverb that my mentor always says, to know the road ahead, you must ask those coming back. And so what I wanted to provide for everyone is kind of like a exclusive look into the life of an entrepreneur. Those who honestly still work 9 to 5s and still have small businesses and they're up and running and they're making profits and things like that. So that's how it started. And I was just like, I've been mentored from Fran Harris, who was a multi-millionaire. She played in the WNBA. She was a sportscaster. She's written crazy amount of books. And she just so happens to be my aunt, And so I lucked up in that situation. So all of this information I've been soaking in from her for years. She coached me. She mentored me. So I know a lot about how to start a business, how to get started with your side hustles, the steps you need to take, and how to market yourself online. So I decided to branch out and become a consultant for those who want to do so.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do now. That's the major part of my brand that I'm trying to grow, uniting the millennials to, get out there and start making that income passively, making it in your sleep, doing something that you love, making a course online. So that's what I'm pushing now. And everything that I do when it comes to millennials and business, it's something that I've been going through too, right? So people like to feel connected to those who are helping them, those who share, similar experiences. So I'm like, as I'm going through this with the different clients that I have, and I'm still growing as a business person, so it's just been kind of like a full circle for me. I just care so much about people and, making better financial choices. But in order to do that, you gotta have money, and you gotta have money that's not like living paycheck to paycheck money. And so just kind of helping them think outside the box, the bigger picture. Credit, yeah, it's cool, but what if you don't have to use credit because you have enough money? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to get them to understand the level of importance when it comes to creating your own income and your success. So that's my mission of Millennials on the Move and being the Millennial Business and Career.
All right. Well, you seem to cover the next two questions, so I'm going to skip those. That was smooth how you did that right there. But I'm going to ask you this: how long have you been doing your podcast?
My podcast, so I've been doing my podcast for 2 weeks. Right. My YouTube show I've been doing since 2016.
Okay.
And it started on YouTube, and now I have opened up more platforms, and so it's just not a YouTube show, it's actually a podcast as well.
All right. So what do you find the hardest when conducting podcasts and conducting YouTube shows?
The hardest, honestly, it's finding people. Not even gonna front, like, talking is easy for me, like, people are interesting. Yeah. And I love discussions, I love getting to know people, so that part is piece of cake. But finding these individuals, like, I had to slow down my YouTube show. I used to do one like every Friday, right? So in 2016, like starting January 1st, I had a millennial every Friday for like 20 weeks straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was set, and then it started to slow down. And so people usually send me entrepreneurs. They send me people who own nonprofits, organizations, who have started foundations or whatever. So it was easy in the beginning. And then I was like, yo, who's going to be my next guest? Like, where do I start, right? And so the hardest thing would be finding people. And then I don't want to say finding quality people, but obviously I just said it. But honestly, finding quality people who have a standing business or nonprofit, you know what I'm saying, who are not just, they're scamming us. Like, you want quality people on your show because you want people to be invested and you want them to, have quality. So it started getting difficult. And even for my podcast, I just changed my mindset. So then I switched up how I did it. So now I have 2 a week, and I have an interview for my Millennials on the Move YouTube. We have 2 a month. So I'm still creating content, and I'm still making sure that it's quality, but at the same time, I just changed the way that I was thinking about finding these individuals, and I just put myself out there. So I'm DMing people, like, I'm messaging people. People are sending people to me. Like, I have just changed the way that I thought about it because, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, people have their bios in their link. You know what I'm saying? So I can easily find someone to be on my podcast or my YouTube show. But getting them to say yes, depending on how many followers they have, like, if you got over 50K, I still be shooting my shot. I'm not going to front. You got to shoot your shot. But, I think that will probably be my next challenge, is getting people to respond to me. But yeah. And that's what same for me too, because there's a couple people that I've tried to reach out to just to, what's the worst they're gonna say? Like, it was one lady that had like I don't know, her followers. I didn't really care how many followers she had. She had a great deal of many when I looked up, but just like I saw the people she was around, and I think she was in radio broadcasting or something. So I was just like, hey, ma'am, I forgot whatever her name was, but I was like, so what advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out, like running a podcast? You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, just staying with it, creating content, and that's roughly all she said. And I was, because I asked her if she would want to be on the show. She didn't really say nothing about that, but she did give. She found a way to skip by that. I didn't want to call her out on that, but if I remember who she is in the future, and then once I'm established, and I'm like, I remember
when you did this, you know what I'm saying? We'll joke about it, but you know, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm not there yet, you know. And I know I still feel like even with 2 years into doing this, I feel like an intern. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So you know, it's just a matter of just working on your craft, sharpening the knives. So whenever it can come time to like the battle, that we're ready. You know, whenever opportunity knocks. So okay, well, so I know you say you mentor kids. So how is it working with kids?
So I've been babysitting since I was like 13. I've always had a love for children. Like, they just intrigue me. They're my favorite people on the planet. I have the most patience for them. You know, I just have this love for kids, and it's just like, you know, I feel like I was just built for this, right? So, you know, mentoring kids, I didn't start until 2000 and like mentoring, like that is my title. I didn't start doing that until like 2013 when I graduated from FAMU. So I joined this program called City Year Miami. If anyone who has graduated from college, they need to sponsor me. If anybody has graduated from college and they have no idea what to do, or they just want to take a year off, joining City Year honestly they pay your loans. They give you a grant at the end of your service, but it gives you an inside scoop on the school system, but also into the lives of middle school kids who are potentially on the verge of dropping out, right? So I wasn't a savior, because we weren't there to save them, but we were helped to aid them in, you know, that thing they called, you know, adolescence, right? So I was there from the time school started to the time school ended. The program had me basically doing interventions with the lowest 35% of the school, math and reading. But also we had to do behavior mentoring at lunchtime. So you have your little groups and you guys discuss, like, you know, so it's the socio-emotional component of mentoring, right? Seeing where they are mentally, how they're connecting emotionally, things like that. So when I had in like a exact impact that like really was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be doing this. Like, one of the girls that I met probably like the first day of school, she was holding this boy's hand. Mind you, these are 12-year-olds. She's holding his hand and she gave him a kiss. I was like, excuse what? You just kissed a boy in front of a teacher, essentially? Like, I was never that brave. I would never have done that. And so she kind of like rolled her eyes at me. I'm like, okay. So it was what it was.
Yeah.
And so the next day, you know, I was monitoring the cafeteria. And then she looks at me, she sizes me. And if anybody doesn't know what sizing means, basically she looked me from head to toe with a resting B-word face. So she sized me, and I was just like, what is this? So I was like, you know what? Teachable moment. I'm not 12. So what's the point of me getting an attitude with a 12-year-old? I'm an adult. So let me handle this how an adult should handle it. So I sit next to her, and I'm just like, did I do something to, you know, hurt your feelings, or is there something that I need to apologize for? So I'm sure she wasn't expecting that, because she goes, no. I said, okay, I just want to know, you know, sometimes you look at me a certain way, but I just want to make sure I didn't do anything to give you the impression that I try to hurt your feelings intentionally. Let me know if I do. We can handle this like adults. You can come talk to me about whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying all this, trying to take the high road. She still rolling her eyes and was like, whatever. I said, cool, okay, I did my part. So the day goes by, and then after school, we do tutoring. So I'm tutoring in the lab after school, and somebody says, Miss Micah, somebody's here to see you. And I was like, who? And so they tell me her name, and I'm just like, okay. So I went out there, and I was just like, what's going on? She was like, remember you said I could talk to you like an adult? I said, yeah, I do remember saying that. She was like, well, it's not you. I just feel like my mom just, and then she just started venting, right? So it had nothing to do with me. Her attitude, everything. It wasn't about me. And so the moment that I realized mentoring changes people's lives, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just needed somebody to talk to and did not know how to say it. So the moment that happened, I was like, yo, I'm sold. I'm mentoring for the rest of my life. You know, like, I just get so filled with the intrinsic reward, you know what I'm saying, of being able to help somebody get through something that's so difficult, especially when they feel like they have nobody. So, you know, I did not before working with that middle school, I did not like middle school kids. I just wanted the 0 to 5-year-old babies, the ones that listened and loved you no matter what you said, and no talk back, no logic, no nothing. But after, working at that middle school, it just changed my perspective of that age group. And now I can work with any age group. So there was some growth that happened on my end. I was judging them way too hard. So mentoring is super rewarding.
That's what it sounds like. What would you say is the best part about the many jobs that you have? But I would say ultimately, altogether, your job, your main job. What is the best part about your job, in your opinion?
That I can work whenever I want. I can go and come as I please. I can go out of town and still be working. I can go to the beach and still work. I can literally go and come as I please. I can wake up whenever I want. I can go to sleep whenever I want. It's just the luxury of being on my own time. I am my own boss. That feeling is unmatched. Unmatched. Like I said earlier, Monday is not a regular weekday for me. Monday is planning how you're gonna execute your week. Most people go to work on Monday, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I just create what works for me. And that is the most rewarding part of all of this. To be completely honest, I set my own schedule, and I answer to myself.
I like that. I like that a lot. So what is the worst part about your job?
I think the worst part of my job is I'm the only one doing it. I don't have most friends that have the same lifestyle as me. So my free time and their free time it looks drastically different. So when I want to, let's just say, maybe go out to eat or hang out or maybe go on a trip or something like that, their schedules are just different from mine, and then the struggles that I have kind of don't go with the struggles they have. So I'm working on website maybe 2 times out of the week. And so the technical support that goes with that and me troubleshooting if something doesn't code correctly or whatever the case is, we just have different struggles. But I think because I'm the only person full-fledged 100% entrepreneur, they can't really relate to me,
Yeah.
They can't wholeheartedly relate to me. And that's where networking events comes in. And it kind of helps meet people who are doing what I'm doing, not exactly what I'm doing, but the entrepreneur role, you know what I'm saying? Like, just making their own schedules and trying to basically be your own boss. That's really hard, because I have to keep myself accountable. When I drop the ball, nobody's there to say, oh, you're fired. But if I say, you know what, girl, it's cool, and pat myself on the back, then I'm also not growing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a small downfall to it, because if your discipline isn't on point, then you can definitely fall in the hole of, you living life as free as a bird, but, you got bills, sis. So you need to make something shake, So that would probably be the hardest part, is that I'm the only one doing what I'm doing, how I'm doing it.
Okay. So you had mentioned earlier, obviously, that you are a rattler. So I want to ask you, what are some of your favorite college memories?
Favorite college memories? Oh man, set Fridays. Any FAMUans listening to this, set Fridays, literally, it's a huge block party in the middle of our campus on Fridays. The DJ comes out, they have different vendors selling different shirts and FAMU apparel, and they got the barbecue man on the side of the road, just the whole fellowship of the fellowship, I like that word. The fellowship of the campus, everybody's there, you got the Delta strolling, you got the Q strolling, just the culture, you know what I'm saying, of FAMU and going to a historically black college and university. It's just like none other, honestly. I miss every part of FAMU. And so a memory that just stands out to me is the Set Friday. Set Friday was a very big deal. You skip class to go to the set. You know what I'm saying? It was just a big deal, And so another memory from college is kind of living on my own and making it work, So living in my apartment and paying bills, a 19-year-old paying rent, and making sure you're budgeting properly. I felt like I was doing something right. You know what I'm saying? It just felt good to not necessarily have the quote unquote know-how of rent. Because, you know, you live with your mom and your dad or your guardian, your grandma, whatever. They don't really bother you with bills. At least that was I'm not going to speak for everybody else. That was just my experience. I was very money conscious. They told me what was going on, but I didn't have to worry about anything. And then I go to college and I just have to grow up real quick, right? So I think the opportunity that I had to basically adult, I nailed it. And I didn't nail it effortlessly, but I pretty much nailed it. I'm back in one piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in debt. I didn't get evicted. You feel me? I pay my bills on time. Like, yeah, so definitely just growing up, Tallahassee, like actually getting my first taste of what it feels like to be an adult.
I didn't write this down, the question, but I think it's important for like the young listeners, especially the young Black listeners that are making their decisions going into like higher learning and stuff like that. So why would you choose? Why do you feel like? Or I guess I'll ask you this: is it important to you that you attend more or you prefer attending a Black college versus a historical Black college versus the traditional university?
So that's where perspective comes in, right? Okay. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion when it comes to this, but personally, I feel because I wanted to grow a different type of love for my people that I feel like I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the most part, I went to Black schools my whole life. Private school, 1st to 7th grade, they were all Black. I was homeschooled maybe 1 year in middle school. 8th grade, I went to kind of like a multicultural, but for the most part, 95% Black. So I've attended Black schools my whole life. But the whole stigma behind, if you go to a HBCU, that means that when you graduate, your degree is incredible and blah, 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 just because it's a Black. It's so much controversy that goes into that. And I know that's why a lot of kids are scared to go to HBCUs, because they feel like when they apply for a job and they see Howard or they see FAMU or they see Savannah, they're going to be like, your degree does not compare to an FSU degree. Your degree is not comparable to a UF degree. You know what I'm saying? So that is just basically what this country was built on, and I'm not going to go off the rail on institutional racism and all that jazz. But what I will say, I just wanted to be taught by Black professors. Like, that meant something to me. You know what I'm saying? So that was an individual thing that I wanted to experience and just grow a deeper love for my culture. I was not really into Black stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can, I guess break it down, it's just like, the whole Black history facts, Martin Luther King, Maya Angelou, Sojourner Truth, Malcolm X, like, the typicals, but I just wanted to know more about who I was, and I felt like the best way to do that is to be educated from people who look like me, so for those kids who are struggling choosing what university to go to, I wouldn't necessarily say write off HBCUs, because you think that your degree won't matter when you actually start applying to these jobs, because you are going to matter in that interview, not what your degree says. Now, it may hold some type of weight. It may have a clout behind it if you attended Florida State, and let's just say the person that's interviewing you is also a Seminole, right? But also that person could be an HBCU graduate. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to go to college for the reason they want to go to college, and choose the one that resonates with what you want what experience you're trying to get out of it. If you're trying to go to law school, go to the best law school. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be a pharmacist, go to the best program that has the best pharmacy program. You know what I'm saying? So I think kids need to focus on the why when they're choosing the college, not the where. So I'm all for HBCUs, and I definitely feel like I just don't want to see them go. So we need people to go to them, So if you want to attend HBCU, go ahead. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, so Pumpkin, my daughter, if you're listening, take heed and listen to what this young lady has mentored you on about that, and know that I love you. If you are listening to this, I miss you too. And so about 2 more business related, and then we're gonna switch to like the personal side. So where's one place you would like to visit in the world, and why?
West Africa. Africa. My mom just did African ancestry. My brother did ancestry. And because I am such a proud African American woman, I think if I'm going to travel somewhere, I can go anywhere, but I want to go there. I want to go to West Africa. I want to go where it started. You know what I'm saying? So when I find a specific location in Africa, like West Africa, that I want to go to, that my tribe may resonate with, or my family may be, our ancestors may be from specifically, then that's where I would want to go. Right now, maybe Cameroon, Uganda, possibly the Congo, yeah. So in that area, West Africa, definitely.
Okay. And lastly, so how do you feel about social media and the consequences that come with using it for business and personal reasons?
So dang. So social media in itself, it's supposed to be social, right? So
right.
I'm super excited that people are able to express themselves. Those who felt like they couldn't talk to people before because having conversations, I guess, is getting super difficult for people to do. So social media is an outlet, and I think that it's a great outlet. But I also think it can get you in trouble. I also think oversharing is a thing now. I feel like, no one really feels anything because everything is just always on Front Street. You're always scrolling, seeing the news, what's happening in the news. You are super wrapped up in, the limelight and famous people and what they're doing, how many kids they're having. You know what I'm saying? You just have such this overload of socialiting, essentially. It's may take away from where you're trying to go, where you are going, because you're so caught up in it. But I'm so appreciative of the business aspect of social media, because it's a platform for businesses. It's a platform for people who are trying to get their product out there, who are trying to market in a different way, market to a different audience. You know what I'm saying? Social media in business has changed the game. Every company is on social media. And if they're not probably surviving and thriving how they should be. It's the way of the world. That's where it's going. Everything is social media. So if you are in business, get into it. You need to figure out how to do Facebook ads. You need to figure out how to run ads on Instagram. You need to figure out how to campaign. Those things are really important because that's the way business is going. So on one end of the social end, yes, I appreciate social media, but personally, it could possibly screw you over in the end if you overshare your feelings on politics, your feelings on racism, your feelings on the LGBTQ community. You just have to be very sensitive of other people, because especially if you don't have a private account, anybody can find that stuff. And you and I were having that conversation.
Yeah.
You're gonna be chilling in your penthouse, living life 10 years from now.
Right.
Somebody scrolls up and sees something that you tweeted when you were 11, 12, 14, and you get something taken away from you, because you chose to share how you felt on your social media. So yes, it's yours, and use it how you want, but just know consequences follow when your status changes. And that's, all I'll say about that. But business-wise, thank you so much, social media. Thank you so much.
For sure. All right, well, that's the business side. Let's somewhat get kind of personal, learning more and more about Micha Nixon. All right, so what is your favorite song at the moment?
My favorite song? Do I have a favorite song? I don't think I have a favorite song. A song that I blast really, really loud and roll my windows down? Miguel, on his Kaleidoscope Dream album, it's called The Thrill. I don't know what it is about that song. I think it's the music in it, and it makes me feel. Music doesn't make me feel as much as it used to. My mom, my dad is super old school, you know what I'm saying? So Isley Brothers, India.Arie, John Legend, what is it? The Ohio Players. I am a super old school kid.
Confunction, Blue Magic. Yeah,
right.
We can go there.
I am a super old school kid. So it's
you a child of funk like me. Yeah, child of funk like me.
And I don't feel how I used to feel. Exactly. But that song makes me feel something. And I blast it really loud. It doesn't matter where I am, who's looking in my window, so they are not tinted. That is just my jam. It's my jam.
Yeah, me and my brother, I coined us, like, you remember Master P, growing up, had an R&B group called Sons of Funk. That's pretty much what I call me and my brother, being raised under my dad.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? My dad, yeah, those records were played constantly. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get the difference of growing up with it and not even being brought up in that time when the music was released,
Right.
but having to know. But me, I'm a historian, so I'll look and see when something was released and look and kind of put myself in that mindset of where music was, you know what I'm saying, at that time, and look at where we are now. Like, yeah, the soul is left. The soul is definitely gone. I don't feel like we've had R&B in a very, very long time. I feel like there's been music infused. Everything is infused with hip hop to the point
Right.
where country music has hip hop
Right.
in it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Right.
like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like everything was not meant to be one genre. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everything should be different. You know what I mean? So that's just you know, my perspective on that. But all right, we're moving to the next thing. So who is your best friend?
So, cool things you asked me that. I don't have one.
All right.
And I had a series of best friend conversations with my group of best friends. I literally is on my Instagram, and I talked about the whole no new friends situation. And I made a post on Facebook a year ago. How can you have one best friend? It's perspective, you know, it's your prerogative. If, you know, this is just the way I feel, so don't come for me. There's no way I can have one. I have, wait, let's see, how many do I have? I have 4, yep, and we grew up together. We're all best friends. It's like a best friend group thing going on. So, yeah, I don't have one.
All right.
I'll make this.
I'm gonna put a little pressure on you. So if you were to get married,
Right.
who is the maid of honor?
Okay.
I hope you guys are listening. I hope they're listening. I hope they are listening right now.
They
to this
are. They're going to listen. So, you know, I've been in 4 weddings, and I've been a bridesmaid in 4 weddings. And what I've noticed is that people choose maid of honors based on how long they've known the person, right? It's like seniority. But how good of a person has that person been to you, and how well do they plan, okay? If we want to really dissect what a maid of honor's duties are, they are your right-hand man. They talk to the bridesmaids, they coordinate things, they make sure things run smoothly. You are not supposed to be bothered on your wedding day or leading up to that point. Yeah. Maid of honor has to be organized to the T. Now, if I can say, Leah, if you're listening, you already know you plan seamlessly, right? So it honestly would probably be her.
Right.
Because her organizational skills and her ability to plan is crazy. But Leah, hey girl, she has a tendency, you know, to not have patience with people who she feels like is basically BSing or not responding a certain way. So she may snap on a few people, you know? And I don't necessarily want there to be any like saltiness going on. So it's like, you know what? You got to take Leah with a grain of salt, because she's going to tell you how it is, and she's going to tell you what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and if you don't follow through, you're probably going to get cut. So she's a little cutthroat, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, I need cutthroat, but at the same time, she's the best planner, bro. Like at this point, it's a runner-up between her and Erica, and I've known Erica for forever. She also plans very well. She's a manager at 6, and honestly, I'll probably make them both do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just think they work well together.
I got you.
I don't know.
Well,
You got me.
Well, so your situation, you ain't gonna have a situation like Martin with Tommy and Cole, like where, you know what I'm saying?
Fight to the death?
Yeah, knowing who is like you known longer or whatever. Like, you know, we going back to like second grade. Y'all not having no Snappy Junior, nothing. They ain't gonna pull up with a Snappy Junior little turtle in a box with no holes in it.
No, man, we ain't doing that no more. Because honestly, just think about the role that person has to play. Is the person you've known the longest, are they organized?
Yeah.
Are they going to follow through with people? Do they procrastinate with their own stuff? Like, you want that day to be seamless, bro. Like, I don't want to have to turn into a bridezilla because I chose the person I knew since 4th grade, but she can't even organize a meeting for everybody to join. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I told them all this. So I told them every wedding I was in, I was like, look, this is how mine is gonna go. I hope y'all ain't salty about it, but I'm choosing based on the role and the responsibilities, not who is gonna be what and how long I've known you. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. So,
all right, well, ladies, y'all heard it. You know what I mean? You guys can discuss this amongst yourselves, and if you agree, disagree, and take it.
Right, like, no, I still think I need to be made fun of.
And
but
take it up.
They're pretty cool about it.
Yeah.
You know, they gonna be in it regardless. So
yeah, take it up with the bride. So, so let me ask you the next question: Do you drink? And if so, what's your drink of choice?
So yes, I do drink. Currently, it's tequila and lime juice because it has lower calories than any other liquor that I've consumed. Previously, it was whiskey, but whiskey's brown, it's fattening. So I'm still drinking, having a good time, but I'm now caring about the calorie intake when I am doing said activities. So
right.
It's tequila lime juice.
Tequila and lime juice. All right.
And the tequila is Casamigos. It's organic tequila, and it's great. It's very light. The aftertaste is barely there.
All right.
So,
healthy.
Check that out.
All right. Healthy alcohol promotion is what we got going
Right.
on. Healthy alcohol promotion.
Right.
So what's one of the worst things you've ever gone through in your life?
Now, I need you to define what you mean by worst.
Like I guess it's something that you really didn't think you would get through. Like it was, I guess, a pain. Or that's just something you went through in your life. An event, like a bad event that occurred. I don't know, maybe.
Right.
Like.
So I was talking to my mom about this question because the way that I cope is healthy, right? Like, I've always been super open about my feelings. Like, I cry at the drop of a dime. Like, if I'm hurt, I'm crying. Like, that's it. Like, tears, I'm ugly, I'm looking in the mirror, my face is puffing up, like, and I have to talk, right? So when I think about the worst, like, I've been in a couple of situations that have been like, dang, but honestly, I don't have life-changing pain that's happened to me. But the one thing I feel like I can come back to is, like, breaking up with a childhood boyfriend that I really didn't want to break up with, but I had to. Like, I feel like those turn of events changed me to who I am today. We think about our high school sweethearts, and we think about love at age 16, 17, 18, and it's just so pure, and you just have no responsibilities, and you're just so in love with each other, but you're not mature, and you're not even who you are going to end up being, So you're constantly growing. Sometimes you're growing apart. The whole stupid arguments and the unhealthy way of communicating with each other, like, that was really hard for me, and then it was long distance as well. So that relationship was tough to end, but I had to do it. It was just unhealthy. We were too far gone. And I think that was the moment where it was like, okay, I'm not going to just be in a relationship just to be in one. I need to actually be happy, and it needs to actually be healthy, not just because I love him or whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to grow up after the breakup, and it did change my life. Like, it changed how I viewed myself, my confidence level, my insecurities, like, everything that relationship was basically molded me to who I am today, and I'm thankful for it, to be completely honest. Like, I'm glad it happened when it did. It just made me realize my worth and what I deserve, and so, am I confident in being alone? And that being okay, So yeah, I would say that was the worst, having to end something that I felt was gonna be forever. So
that being said, talking about the breakup, so we'll just talk about dating in general. Do you still believe that chivalry still exists in our society?
I do, because my boyfriend is I guess a chivalrous. I don't know how to make him a chivalry. He's like that, opens the doors, closes the doors. He's a gentleman. Do I think it still exists? Yes. Do I think we see examples of it? No. Honestly, I dated a guy before my boyfriend, and he basically was opening my car door every time we went to the car. I'm like, and mind you, I never said you don't have to do that. You know, like, I feel like some women, you just want to be so tough. You say, I got it. Like, no, sis, it's just a door. Like, let him open it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not patronizing you. He's not belittling your intelligence. It's nothing like that. He just wants to open the door, right? So he opened the door. I was like, thank you. Like, it was a shocker, you know, because that hadn't happened in a very long time. So I don't think it's dead, but I do think it's drifting because some women are drifting away from it. They're not used to it, so it's uncomfortable. And remember, when you're not used to something, you don't know how to respond to it. So when someone opens the door for you, you be like, nah, I'm good, I got it. Or, no, you don't have to do that because she's not used to it. Not that she doesn't want it, she's just not used to it. So I think the male response to that is like, oh, well, they don't like that no more, so we don't have to do it. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah. I think it's one of those, you know, reactionary responses to what's going on with chivalry. They think women don't like it, and women feel like they may be being patronized, and they don't want their door open or closed anymore. Like, you know, so society has changed. Society is changing. The roles are being reversed, switched back in all which ways. But no, I don't think it's dead. I just think, you know, the representation for it is just not as apparent.
Okay. Well, on the subject of dating, of course, you mentioned you're in a relationship, but we want to discuss what is one of the worst dates that you've been on in your life.
The worst date? Oh my God, yo. So first of all, when I like to call myself, when I was single, a serial dater, because I believe dating is healthy, and I believe meeting new people just in general when you are single is just fun. Like, it's time to live your life, whatever. So guy asked me, he was like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? I'm like, sure. So we go out to dinner. Yo, we had absolutely nothing in common. Like, I felt like he just kept saying the wrong stuff. I'm like, but it was crazy because I'm like, yo, this is really bad. like, and it's not even about agreeing with me. It's not about a disagreement. It's not about argument. Nothing. Like, he did nothing obnoxious or whatever. He just was so far from my type. It was like sickening. You know, I was like, wow, I gotta go. You know, I'll pay for it. Fine. No, please, thank you. And I just left. I didn't feel like I had to stomach through a free meal, so I just paid for it and I left. Like, it was horrible.
Oh, I can honestly say in my adult years of dating, I've never had that before in my life.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, that's like, I've never had like to be like, okay, I need to go. I think the worst thing that happened to me, it was a blind date, and I was doing a friend a favor. Shout out to Rashad. It was a blind date. And he was talking to some shorty. She was I think she was from Detroit, and we went to go see Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider 2, the second one with Angelina Jolie, and we go to his the Lady Adventurous house, and her friend comes out with her, and I'll be honest, I would say. Yeah, I'm shallow. I know what I like. I know what I like. I know what the fuck I like. Excuse my language. But you know, she was a little bit larger than I wanted. But I mean, even then, I think I had a girlfriend at the time, and she knew I was like, she knew about it. I was going to support.
I was like, what?
Yeah. It wasn't no, that's not no pimping thing right there. It was just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to support, you know, my boy Rashad or whatever. So we go, I don't know. I might have been with, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the date goes on, and she comes out the house, and we get into Rashad's car, right? And I see her. You know how like Smokey was when he saw Shorty on Friday, you know, Janet Jackson, Freddie Jackson type thing. And I'm not saying she was that completely large, but she was just bigger. She was just bigger than what
you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, she was bigger than what I want. But we're sitting in the car, and I got my phone, and this is like, got the Nokia phone with like Snake on it back in the day. That's like one of my first cell phone. And I shit you not, she jumps from the back, and she's like, "Oh, can I see your cell phone?" I was like, from here on out, we are going to play this little game called Stay Away From Me. I am not about this life that you're trying to create right now in this car, because I was like, yeah, sure. But But I'm horrible. I was a horrible teenager when it came to dating at certain points, especially if I felt like you thought you was hot shit or something like that. So we're sitting there.
Put him in his place.
Yeah, we're sitting there in the theater. Rashad and his girl, the girl he's dating at the time, is sitting up and they're sitting like maybe 2 rows closer than us, and it's just like I'm there with her. I am laying on 4 seats to keep her ass away from me. That is like this is true.
Damn.
These are true stories. Like we went to MacArthur Mall. MacArthur Mall had just got built in back home in Hampton Road. Shout out to the 757. And yeah, so that's I just thought I shared like one of my worst times with that. Do you believe in love at first sight?
I believe in infatuation at first sight. Not love.
Yeah.
Infatuation. Like physically, someone can really do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you see this God walking by, and you're like, oh my God, like I have to get to know him. I have to. So the fact, I feel that's what I'm saying, infatuation. So you start doing stuff you normally wouldn't do. So you walk up to, for women, I know most of us don't approach men, but the guy that you're so infatuated, you will approach him. You know what I'm saying? Like you start doing stuff you wouldn't normally do. You know, I don't call that love. I call that determined to look at this person all the time because he's just so that to you, right?
Yeah.
So you walk up to the guy, you ask for his number, and he gives it to you, and you're like melting. Like, oh my gosh, it worked. Like, you know, like, so I do believe in infatuation at first sight. Somebody can be so physically attractive to you that you just cannot, and you have to have their number. That's how I feel.
Do you feel like you have to go to college to be successful?
I don't. And it's a lot of millionaires out here, billionaires who have never stepped inside of a university or have never graduated from a university. I do believe we live in an age of innovation, and I do believe that if you find your passion, that is amazing because you can capitalize on it. But if you don't have passion, if you're not talented, you can find something that's already doing well, revamp it, and make it your own and become a millionaire. You can create syrup, a sauce for a restaurant. Like, there's so many ways to, make it out here. And I don't feel like having a degree is going to stop you from making it. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't believe that college is necessary to do, but I do think that college is exposure that I feel people need to think on a different level than what they're used to thinking on. Only because different people from everywhere are going to the university or college that you go to. So you're getting exposed to the way people think, they react, they respond to things, like how you have conversation, how you disagree respectfully. Like you just grow up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think college teaches you a lot about life and yourself. So I do think in that aspect, just go. If you don't graduate, okay, cool, but go for the experience, if anything. So that's what I'll say about that.
Okay. So what's one of the biggest mistakes you've made in your life thus far?
One of the biggest probably not listening to my mentor when she told me I need to be doing what I'm doing right now in 2016. I didn't listen to her. I didn't necessarily feel like I had the answers, but I felt like I had the answers, and I felt like she was telling me something that the person I was then wasn't ready to hear. Like, I just don't feel like I was mentally prepared for what she was trying to make me be, how excellent she was trying to make me be. Like, I was doubting myself and my abilities, although I knew a lot. I experienced a lot of things. Like, I have accolades, but I don't really talk about those things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't pat myself on the back. I'm super humble about the things that I've gone through and done, because that's just something that I did. It's not something to boast about. But not listening to her and being consistent and staying disciplined in what I thought was actually good for my business and my brand, that is probably the biggest regret I have. Because I just had to start over,
Yeah.
And I'm starting from square one, and I could be a mogul right now. I could be at the top of my game, but it's cool. Because I feel like things happen when they're supposed to happen.
Yeah,
Mentally,
exactly.
I wasn't prepared for that,
Everything happens for a reason and happen when it's supposed to. And,
so
We all get the same 24 hours to make ourselves something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to decide how you spend that time and effort. Effort is everything. You know what I'm saying? You got to put forth that effort to getting where you want to be. It ain't gonna show up. It's not gonna show up at the door. So how do you feel about the current state of hip hop right now?
I feel like it's just trendy. That's all. Whatever is trending, whatever people can quickly come up with to make a hit based on a song that made a hit, it's just like, it's kind of like, it's repetitive. You know what I'm saying? And things have been done over and over before. People have sampled. That's not a new thing. We've been sampling for forever. But I think what's happening with hip hop now is just trying to get really big off of just kind of like one hit wonders and hope that it transpires to something deeper. I don't think hip hop is storytelling anymore. I think hip hop is just kind of riding the wave of what people want to hear, riding the wave of someone else's success and trying to revamp it, but it's really the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really a hip hop person per se. I'm more of a R&B, soul, indie type person, so I may not be the right person to answer that question, but
I think being a hip hop historian, I think you got a pretty decent assessment of that. It's very trending right now.
Yeah.
The music is trending. Honestly, it's been that way for like the last 6
years.
What are we in 2019? It's been that way for the last 15 years, to be honest.
Wow.
As far as hip hop goes, when you can look back at this, because you were in college from what, 09 to
08 to 13.
So 08 to 13. So if you can remember your high school days, probably 9th grade or maybe 8th grade, T.I. was starting to get a wave. So he came out with this music, what they call trap music, and then which opened the door for trap music. And then Young Jeezy came out, and then everybody after Jeezy sounded like Jeezy. Couple of years roll by. T-Pain comes in here with this little auto-tune shit, and all of a sudden you start hearing all these auto-tune records. And then we get to a point where Future comes along, and then everything sounds like Future. Everybody raps the same like Future. And now we have the Migos who are here, and everybody sounds like the Migos. So I welcome to trending society. You got to get yours, and then that is it.
Right.
That's what it seems like. You can definitely tell, like, the soul is not in it. The soul is it. Like the soul is missing from at least the ones that they're making mainstream. Like, there are people that are still putting their heart and soul into hip hop, but they're not being promoted. But the ones that these industry labels like to promote tend to be like the main front. There's just not much soul into it, so you really don't feel it. You don't feel it as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I say that, and then there's guys like Drake. Drake he definitely puts his heart and soul, as sensitive as he is with his music.
He know what he's doing. He capitalizing on women and our feelings.
It's great because, I mean, he's been relevant for 10 years.
Yeah,
It's very few that have done so. Like Jay-Z did that. Not even Kanye was relevant for 10 years.
Well, Beyonce has been relevant.
I will tell you this about Beyonce. I just became a fan this year, and it was because of the live album. When I heard it, I saw her, like with the documentary they got on Netflix.
Right.
I was thoroughly impressed. Because, I mean, I'm not able to sit and listen to an album of Beyonce. I can watch her perform, but like live, but like sitting a studio album, I don't feel like I'm not the target demographic for that.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, so I mean, I can understand that, but like, I give respect to the Queen. I mess with her fans all the time, talking about how she conducts interviews, because she talks and chops. At least she did early in her career. I don't know if she's a little bit more comfortable now doing that. But like, if you listen to old Beyonce interviews, it sounds like she talks like almost like what of a robot. Like definitely. Just like, making sure she doesn't say the wrong thing. Like, probably so.
Perfectionist.
But it's just funny.
Perfectionist is the thing that I guess. It's like, she doesn't want to ruin anything, so she's very
sense. Yeah, like.
stale.
the way she handled that Taylor Swift incident was nothing short of professional. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Kanye coming on stage, and then she like make sure she have her moment. That's how that's how you're supposed to move with that. Although Taylor Swift did copy her, I think for her music video or something, she copied.
She definitely did her performance.
Yeah, or so her performance, was just like Homecoming. And they say imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah, so, it's cool. So it's like,
respect.
It was a great show. So do your thing.
Yeah,
like I'm not even mad.
It's not even good.
She's an innovator. That's the point of innovation. Like, you get something, but you're supposed to do it better.
8 months. But, 8 months. Cool. It took her 8 months to do it. It took her 8 months to do it. Oh, I can tell you what I saw yesterday on Facebook before we switch out. Me and you being both children of funk. The Brady Bunch cast were singing "Shining Star" by Earth, Wind and Fire. I just want you to imagine what that sounded like.
You don't have to tag me in that.
Yeah.
Once this is done.
Yeah, for sure. You are going. You are going to be like, what in the entire fuck is going on? But I was like, Maurice White did not sign off on this. I know he couldn't have signed off on this. They are killing this thing right now. But let's see what else we want to ask before we get out of here. All right, yeah. So, what do you feel is wrong with society, and how would you improve it?
So that could be a loaded question, because my society is basically Black America, because that's who I interact with on a regular, day basis. Society as a whole, I do feel like we're becoming really sensitive and desensitized at the same time. When it comes to this overload of news and information, and obviously it's bad news, it's sad news, it's violent news, things that have probably been happening for forever, but because technology has advanced, we're able to get it at our fingertips every waking moment, right? So I think we are overexposed to what's happening in the world, and we have too much of a privilege to feel that we can speak on certain things that are not our business, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and social media, for one, has made this happen. Like, now we're able to comment on someone who is famous, and the what's her name, Alicia Curry? They dragged her.
Aisha Curry.
They dragged her. And so I feel like we're in a society where everybody's entitled. Right? Everybody's entitled to feel and say whatever they want to say to whoever they want to say it, because of social media and because the internet. You get to sit behind a phone and be disgusting and racist and whatever. Mind you, these things were occurring before this happened, right? It's just at our fingertips, and I feel like death has become a desensitized situation. The whole thing that happened with Nipsey, people was chiming in that shouldn't have been chiming in. Yep. Somebody died. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what he did, he died.
Future dumbass said that he is just as influential as Nipsey Hussle. I said Russell. Nipsey Hussle. He said he's just as influential. You better sit your Scottie Pippen wife stealing ass down.
I can't.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man, like this ain't the time. This ain't the time. And then that is
the thing. It's not the time. It's not the time for most things people are doing in our society. And I have to keep going back to social media, because it's creating this false sense of reality. It honestly is. And so what I think we are struggling with is identifying with being human.
It's time.
I think we've always had that problem when it comes to differences in skin tone and ethnicity. We're all one race, by the way. We're just one race. We are different ethnic groups. We are the human race. That's it. So when you start thinking about all these differences and people aren't respecting those differences that come with your skin tone or your culture or whatever, we just are not seeing each other for being human. And that is our major problem today, is not being able to connect with humanity.
Yeah. So I just need Kodak Jack I'm gonna call him Kodak Jack, and he gonna have to sit. He gonna have to sit all the way back with the trolling. That like that shit ain't funny no more. Just like relax, man. Like you're gonna end up getting like the way he was trolling T.I. a couple weeks ago, and talking about his kids was ugly, his wife was ugly, and
oh Lord. But you know, and that's another thing. I feel like how you were raised is how you basically respond to people. Right? So it's very difficult for me to like, mind you, I do feel like he should stop talking. Like J. Cole said it the best. I wish he had a mentor. I wish he had better guidance. That's all. Because he doesn't have anyone in his corner telling him the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So that goes from that hit the sensitive area to me, because it's like people go through things in the way that they're raised in their environment very well, you know, affects the way that they handle people in their lives and situations. And he's from Pompano. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how they deal with beef. Mind you, because he's big now, you know, it's like a public thing, but he's been handling stuff like this. But now that he is in the limelight and he's dealing with other people in the limelight, he's just doing what he's been doing.
All I know is that we just lost a young man yesterday in Sunny Isles, you know, in front of the Trump International Resorts. Is somebody named something Bands. I don't know, some Chicago rapper with the last name Bands in it, but he was killed.
Oh wow!
Just on, I'm pretty sure on nothing. You know what I'm saying? And because he's not as big as, you know, Nipsey Hussle, people aren't going to value his death, but a man died. You know what I'm saying? A young man died on probably on some silly shit. And they shot at NBA, I guess some guy named NBA Youngboy. I'm not too familiar with like a lot of the current artists. I'm like as far as their music, but I'm aware of like their names and stuff like in the industry. But them being so, you know, just being so young out here and getting involved in shit that's not even going to matter 2 years from now, let alone, you know what I'm saying, 10 years. And like they shot at him, they didn't get him, they hit his girlfriend. His girlfriend was shot, is the story. And this is the same, and that Chicago rapper, I think, was with him at the time. So he gets popped off, and then the bodyguard, I think, shot the suspected person who shot at them. So I mean, it's just a whole lot of like, what for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? What is the whole reason behind all this shit? Why do you hate me so much? That's the question. Why do you hate me enough to shoot me? Yeah. But that's you know, something that's gotta change in this society, especially with social media, you know, egging everything up. I'm so glad that when I was in middle school when Pac and Big was killed. So I'm thankful that there was no Twitter, no Instagram.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh my God, Pac saying that, you know, I fucked your wife. That Twitter would have lit up. You know, a whole bunch of memes.
It would have been blood.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of bloodshed. A lot of bloodshed, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just like you got to look at and looking back at everything that they went through. There was a misunderstanding. I mean, there's so many conspiracies about what actually went down with that, but only those two men and I guess the people that were involved knew about what was happening. But it affected so many people when the media is broadcasting this thing, trying to bank off of it, you know, for hip hop. And you know, that's just, I don't know. They gotta figure something. We gotta figure something out with this whole thing. So, what do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years from now,
yeah,
I see myself down the line. Like, my curriculum will be written. I will be one of the top millennial business experts. I will probably be married. I probably will have a kid. I will be at the peak of my success level. You know, like, I will be financially secure and comfortable in every single way. And I will be debt free, number one. I just see my business flourishing. My family is also building a mega sports complex in Dallas. And, you know, it's the first family business. And so I see myself being a major part, you know, in our family endeavor. And, just being a part of it, you know, just doing my thing, living life and growing and flourishing and, you know, skin glowing and stuff. That's where I see myself in 5 years.
All right. And how can our listeners find you on social media?
Okay. So on Instagram, you can follow my business page, Millennial Biz Brand. Millennial is a very difficult word to spell and say sometimes. So Millennial, Millenial, is how you spell Millennial Biz Brand. On Facebook, just Micha Nixon. On my website, www.michanixon.com. And also, if you are interested in joining my free webinar, Idea to Income, the link is in my bio on my Instagram. So go to my Instagram, click the link in my bio, and figure out how you can start, these side hustles so that you can create some income so you can be debt free and travel and spend money on what you want to spend it on and not just bills.
That concludes me asking the questions. That portion of the interview now is roughly, I would say, still on you, but you get to ask me any 3 questions you want. I have to be completely honest, and then we go from, and you roughly just go from there. So have at it. The floor is yours.
All right, sir. So what do you think you're getting out of having your own podcast?
What I think I'm getting of having my own podcast is having a voice and also a platform where others like yourself can come and just talk about what you can do and help other people. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like that's the end game for me. Like the reward,
right.
the reward in it all is being able to help others see that they can do exactly what we're doing. Like it's not
right.
something that's not obtainable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I guess to quote Jeezy, I'm 10 steps ahead of you, not 30. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
right.
you can, these are something that, you know what I'm saying, that you can do. It inspires others, it motivates others. And we're like, oh man, I'm like, for those that actually know me and be like, oh, I remember when he used to do this, like not doing what I do now. So to be able to create a platform, network with people, and met some beautiful people along the way. Some people that have, like their hustle is just unbelievable. One like yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you got going on, Micha, it's insane. It's super dope, and I love it. It's inspiring. You know what I'm saying? It makes me want to just turn it up just a little bit more, because if you can do it, I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much that's how that goes. So yeah, I guess that's probably the best way to answer that question.
So I see that your favorite movie is Lion King. One of your favorite movies is Lion King.
That is affirmative. That's affirmative.
Boom, let's talk about it. It's my absolute favorite movie. So tell me why it's one of your favorite.
Well, one of my favorite movies as a kid, I always felt like it was like the first what I consider black Disney film, even though it's played with, well, I guess because it's in Africa. That's probably the only reason why. But, a lot of things didn't make sense to me, like how Simba was convinced that he did. He killed his father. As a little kid, I was sitting there like, well, I know he watched his dad fall. And
you couldn't help him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And how is it that you could see your dad, but you couldn't see your uncle standing above the ledge?
Oh my God!
I will analyze a Disney film like why is Winnie the Pooh broke as hell walking around asking for food all damn day? Like that's but Lion King, just of course the music. Like when I was a kid and I was 9. Yeah, 94. I was 9 when The Lion King came out. So like when they used to play the trailer during like the Aladdin VHS, and that's I was like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like the colors is bright. Like they got the flamingos coming out the water, seeing Simba being raised. It was just. I said, I want to be a part of this, and then just like. They got the trailer voice. The trailer voice always gets you into it. Like,
it does.
Yeah, that's this young cub. Like, what? I want to see the young cub. Really, but I mean, the music alone. Being just into music so much, I probably played that soundtrack. I don't know how many times. I'm talking about the scores, like Hans Zimmer and Elton John. They're brilliant for what they did, and Tim Rice. I don't want to forget him. But what they did with like the music for that movie was, you felt everything. Like you had to like I didn't cry when Simba rose up on Mufasa to learn that he's dead. I was like, but I feel this, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, he lost his dad, and this is some creepy shit going on where this uncle is just out to kill. I don't know what Disney's got going on, but you know, you're out to kill children. You know, you're promoting child death, and like how. I want to talk about how retarded Simba is, where he is convinced by his own food to eat bugs. Let's talk about it. He's a child, bro. I ain't trying to hear that shit, because you get hungry. Like, look, you get no. He was used to eating nothing, bro. You saw the question. See, the thing is, they gave us lines already though, because he rose up on them, and they're like, oh man, let's try to get something to eat, and he's like, what are you supposed to do? What did he name? He said,
antelope. What was he supposed to
hippo, antelope, all of them are smaller.
What was he supposed to do?
He's supposed to eat them.
No, bro, you tripping.
He's tripping. But what did Nala do when she rode up? What did she do?
She tried to eat.
Exactly, because she's because she thought that she knew that she was a lion. Simba didn't know who the fuck he was until his daddy showed up and was like, "You remember who you are." And that was the right time to eat Timon and Pumbaa at that particular time. As soon as his dad left in the cloud, he should have turned around and was like, you know what? They're good friends, but I have to survive. This is
you tripping, bro.
If anybody knows, you know what I'm saying, lions and how they move, like male lions eat their own cubs.
Yeah, so male lions eat other lions.
Yeah.
Totally
so
understand.
For him to just be strolling along with basically pork ribs and what would you call? I don't know. I guess he's equivalent to like I don't know, skunk or lamb, Timon, whatever that is. About enough meat that would be on like a shrimp tempura or some shit from a Chinese buffet. But not much. It's not much with him. But I just but overall, just to truly answer the question why it's the favorite, it was just phenomenal. I probably watched that movie in the fourth grade after it came out on VHS. I watched that shit every day after school. Every day after school. Faithfully, forget homework. I'm watching The Lion King. This is what I wanted to do with
my brother was so sick of me. Same thing. I watched it over and over the same day we got it. He was sick of me, and my family just let me do it, and I've been watching it to this day. When I don't feel good and something made me sad, I put on Lion King. That's just how much it means to me. So we'll digress from Lion King. So last question. If you had an opportunity to create a course online, what would it be about?
A course? It would be about, because anybody that knows me within this year, that they probably say they've heard me say this so like at least 100 times around them. I would create a course called Match My Energy, and what I mean by that is that we tend to again, like a lot of people with big hearts, like big-hearted individuals are the ones that get hurt the most because they care the most. So I would create a course on it, like, okay, I'm not telling you not to be nice to anyone, but I'm telling you to be genuine. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that what you're doing is like you're not expecting anything in return. And also know when you're doing too much for someone and they're not doing it in return. You know what I'm saying? Like you're pouring all your heart into a particular individual. You're pouring all your heart into a job, but they got you working all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing that comes around for you. You know what I'm saying? You're always making sacrifices for them, but there's no come around for you. So it's just like match your energy. I would basically explain how I would explain how I would feel like is a better way of living, so that you don't get yourself in a position where you start to feel like isolated or depressed from just trying to be nice to everyone. Like you've pretty much put yourself in that a predicament where you teach people that you come second. You know what I'm saying? And you have to show people that you matter and that you value yourself. And and move forward like such. That's
Right.
probably the best way to describe that course. That's a brilliant question. I would say,
Yeah. I'm just saying,
yeah.
you should do it.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna get together on that as far as how that can even be possible.
Got you.
And I believe you. I believe you because you got everything going on. You do everything. You teach little kids, and you know what I'm saying, you got little girls doing Bernie Mac to you. Looking you up and down like she want a piece of you. like Bernie
Right.
say. So that, but no, that's really a great thing what you're doing for the kids, and just for all of us now. Consulting and putting people to put their best foot forward, and knowing that they can do it. That's what I got from everything that you've told me about yourself, and I'm very grateful for your presence on the show. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, for sure. Just, come back anytime. Like I said, I wanted you to come in, like be a guest on 2 Cents. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be dope. I have to figure out what probably like the best days for you, because again, like I said, my schedule is I get in where I can fit in, but I would love, Mike, I would love to have you on. I think it would be good for you and Ebony to be on there, and it'd be me and my boy Jeff, and like we all got different pseudonyms that we use on the show. So
Right.
it's Romey-Mak, it's Deacon Balls. I'll explain that later. And Sugar Booger, and I've known them pretty much my entire military career. So what I'm saying, so they're like that's family right there. In military, at times you're closer to your military family than you are your own. Just the way that rolls. But no, like I said, it was a pleasure. It really was a pleasure having you on and picking your brain for being on the show. And I definitely look forward to being on yours. So what we're gonna do is we've already gave the contact information. So for listeners, thank you guys so much for listening to this recording, and it should be pretty soon. I'll try to get this out as soon as possible. You'll catch trailers. Everybody will catch the trailers and stuff leading up to this, so build that anticipation. But I definitely got a couple key points, some great questions that Micah brought out, a lot of valuable information that I think is really going to be I would say rewarding for those who actually do hear this content. But what I'm saying, so for business and career expert Micha Nixon and Romey-Mak, this is the interview with Rome. We out. Peace.